Hey there, sports fans. Jenny here, and today we're diving into some WNBA drama that's been making waves. We're talking about the ongoing situation between Las Vegas Aces head coach Becky Hammon and former Aces player Becky Hammon. The story that's got people talking, so let's break it down. Now, if you haven't been following this saga, here's the deal. Becky Hammon, who used to play for the Aces, has filed a discrimination lawsuit against the team. She's claiming that she faced some pretty serious stuff, including intimidation and retaliation, after she told the team she was pregnant. But Becky Hammon, she's not having any of it. After a recent game where the Aces beat the Los Angeles Sparks 87-71, Hammon decided to address these allegations head-on. And let me tell you, she didn't mince words. Hammon's stance? This whole situation is being blown way out of proportion. Now, I want you to hear this in Hammon's own words. She said, and I quote, "just didn't happen." Bullying. It's a pretty strong statement, right? But Hammon didn't stop there. She went on to say, "I spoke with her every day. If she wanted to practice, she practiced. If she didn't, she didn't. Over-the-top care. So what's Hammon's take on all this? Well, she's adamant that trading Hammon to the Sparks back in January 2023 was purely a business decision. Nothing personal, just business. You know how it goes in professional sports. Sometimes tough decisions have to be made. But here's where it gets interesting. Hammon's lawsuit isn't just about the trade. She's claiming that after she announced her pregnancy, the Aces pulled some pretty harsh moves. We're talking about withdrawing team-provided housing and not paying for her daughter's school tuition. That's some serious stuff, true. Now, Hammon can't say too much about all this because of the ongoing legal proceedings. But she did drop some pretty interesting facts, put things in perspective. She pointed out that in her 25-year career in both the WNBA and NBA, she's never had an HR complaint. Not once. And she emphasized that Hammon didn't file any complaints either. Not with the Players Union, not with the WNBA. Nothing. But here's where the plot thickens. WNBA actually did conduct a pretty extensive investigation into Hammon's claims. We're talking interviews with 33 people and a deep dive into a ton of documents. And the result? Well, Hammon ended up with a 2-game suspension back in May 2023 for violating the league's respect in the workplace policy. But here's the kicker. The league didn't actually specify if this suspension was directly related to Hammon's allegation. Oh, and it doesn't end there. The Aces also got hit with a penalty, losing a first-round draft pick in 2025. But that was for a separate violation involving some impermissible player benefit. It's like the hits just keep on coming, right? Despite all this drama, Hammon is sticking to her guns. She's insisting that the decision to trade Hammon was all about the numbers. In her words, it came down to math and business. That's all it was, nothing personal. She even went as far as to say, "I had a great relationship with Hammon the whole time." Now, let's talk about Becky Hammon for a sec. Despite all this off-court drama, she's still out there killing it on the court. She's now with the Sparks, and she's not letting any of this slow her down. She played in all 40 games last season, and even made it to the WNBA All-Star Game this July. Talk about not letting the drama get to you, right? In fact, in the recent game against her former team, Hammon put up some impressive numbers. We're talking 13 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 steals. That's not too shabby, especially when you're playing against your old team with all this tension in the air. Now, you might be wondering what the WNBA and the Las Vegas Aces have to say about all this. Well, they're playing it pretty close to the chest. Both have said they're reviewing the lawsuit, but they're not saying much more than that. You know how it is with ongoing legal stuff. Everyone's got to watch what they say. But let's take a step back for a second and look at the bigger picture. This isn't just about one player and one coach. This is about some pretty serious issues in professional sports. We're talking about how teams handle situations like pregnancy, how they treat their players, and what happens when things go south. It's a reminder that even in the world of professional sports, where we often focus on stats and scores, there's a very human element to it all. These are real people with real lives, dealing with real issues. And sometimes those issues spill over onto the court and into the public eye. Now, I'm not here to tell you who's right or who's wrong in this situation. That's for the courts to decide. But what I can tell you is that this is a story worth following. It's got all the elements of a classic sports drama: high stakes, big personalities, and some serious questions about how we treat athletes. As we wait for more developments in this case, it's worth thinking about what all this means for the WNBA and professional sports in general. How do we balance the business side of sports with the personal lives of the athlete? What kind of support should players expect from their teams? And how do we handle disputes like this when they arise? These are big questions, and they don't have easy answers. But they're questions we need to be asking. Because at the end of the day, sports isn't just about what happens on the court. It's about the people who make it happen, both on and off the court. It's about the dreams, the sacrifices, and the hard work that goes into every game, every season, and every career. We often see the glitz and glamour of professional sports, but beneath that surface lies a complex web of relationships, decisions, and challenges that shape the games we love. Think about it. For every buzzer beater or record-breaking performance, there's a story of perseverance, of overcoming obstacles, of pushing through personal struggles. And sometimes, those struggles aren't just physical. They're emotional, psychological, and yes, even legal. The Hammon-Hamby situation is a perfect example of how the personal and professional can collide in the world of sports, creating ripple effects that go far beyond the basketball. So when we talk about these issues, we're not just talking about sports. We're talking about workplace rights, about gender equality, about the balance between personal life and professional obligations. We're talking about the very human aspects of an industry that sometimes feels larger than life. And that's why these conversations matter, because they remind us that behind every jersey number is a person with hopes, fears, and challenges, just like the rest of. So, as we keep an eye on this developing story, let's remember that there's more to sports than just wins and losses. It's about the human stories, challenges, the triumphs, and sometimes conflict. It's about the rookie fighting for a spot on the team, the veteran pushing for one last championship, coach trying to build a winning culture. It's about the fans in the stands, living and dying with every play, and the communities that rally around their teams. Each game is a tapestry of stories. Some we see play out on the court, others that unfold behind the scenes. There's the story of the player who's battling an injury but suits up anyway, because her team needs her. There's the story of the coach who spends sleepless nights strategizing, trying to find that perfect play that will turn the tide of the game. And yes, there are stories like this one where off-court issues become just as compelling as what happens during the game. These stories remind us that sports is a reflection of life itself, full of highs and lows, triumphs and setbacks, moments of unity and periods of conflict. And just like in life, it's often the challenges that define us, that shape our character and determine our legacy. As for Becky Hammon and Hamby, only time will tell how this all plays out. But one thing's for sure, this is a story that's going to have people talking for a while. And you can bet we'll be here to keep you updated on every twist and turn. Because that's what we do here at Sports Day Tribune. We don't just cover the game, we dive into the stories that make sports such a compelling part of our culture. This situation raises important questions about player welfare, about the responsibilities of teams to their athletes, and about how we handle sensitive issues in the public eye. It's a reminder that even in the world of professional sports, where physical prowess often takes center stage, there are complex human dynamics at play. As this story continues to unfold, we'll be watching closely. We'll be looking at how the WNBA responds, how other players and coaches react, and what kind of precedent this might set for future situations. Because in many ways, this isn't just about Becky Hammon and Hamby. It's about the future of women's professional basketball and how we address these kinds of issues moving forward. That's all for now, sports fans. This is Jenny, signing off from the Sports Day Tribune. Remember, in sports, as in life, there's always more to the story than meets the eye. It's easy to get caught up in the scoreboard, in the statistics, in the highlight reels, but the real magic of sports often happens in the moments between the plays, in the locker rooms, in the late-night practice sessions, and yes, sometimes in the courtroom. So as you watch your favorite teams and cheer for your favorite players, take a moment to think about the full picture. Think about the journeys that brought them to this point, the challenges they've overcome, and the dreams they're still chasing. Because that's what makes sports truly special, not just the physical feats, the human spirit that drives them. Stay tuned, stay informed, and most importantly, stay passionate about the game we all love. Whether you're a diehard fan or a casual observer, there's always something new to learn, always another layer to uncover in the world of sport. Keep your eyes open, your mind engaged, and your heart in the game. Until next time, keep your head in the game and your eyes on the ball. But also, keep your ears open for the stories behind the scores, your mind open to the complexities of the sports world, and your heart open to the human element that makes sports so much more than just a game. This is Jenny, reminding you that in sports and in life, the most important plays often happen when the clock isn't running. Stay curious, stay compassionate, and above all, stay in love with the game. See you next time, sports fans.